What's up everyone? Brunswick staffer Sydney here today with a new release. Today we have the all-new Ethos Solid. I am super excited to throw this one because I had the original Ethos Hybrid and I did like that one, but it often lane shined for me and it was a bit quicker down lane than what I typically throw to start my day on a house shot. I often would throw on my house shot an asymmetric ball. I really liked the NV Tour, but sometimes the asyms just weren't a great shape for me. They weren't quite smooth enough for what I wanted. So I'm really excited about this one because it does have that same symmetric core as the Ethos Hybrid. Cool thing about today is I actually drilled this piece up and then I also drilled up a brand new Ethos Hybrid. So I have both of these in 14 pounds a day since I made that switch. So I'm gonna throw them both for you and compare the two. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna get started here with this Ethos Solid. I'm gonna stand on about 23 and projecting probably no further left than about 7 down lane. That looks pretty good. Perfect first shot. Okay, so you just saw that first shot. I'm going to throw the exact same shot from the same spot with the Ethos Hybrid that I drilled up, and just so we can see and compare the two. Okay, so I'm gonna do the exact same thing here. I'm gonna stand on 23, where I was with that Solid, not changing anything, and again, no further left than about 7 down lane. Nice shot. So as you can see, that ball is picking up a little bit more down lane. Obviously, there's quite a bit of oil out there still, so let's try to make that way up the hill, but a little bit of some over-under ball reaction, so I'd probably stay in that Solid for a couple more shots, but let's keep throwing that one. And let's make a little bit of an adjustment here with the Hybrid, just so we can see what moving left looks like with it and why I'd probably stick with that Solid. So I'm gonna make a 2-in-1 over here. So instead of 23, I'm gonna be on about 21. And I'm gonna move my eyes 1. A little far left. But as you can see, the ball hits the friction and picks up a ton down lane, just because it is gonna finish more down lane. So let's stay in that same spot where I just threw that one. And I'm now going to throw the Ethos Solid from there, just so you can see where that one shapes. So where that last shot was with the Hybrid, so 21, and move my eyes in. So looking about 8 instead of 7. That looks pretty good. All right, I'll take that 8-pin, but still a great shot there. So obviously, as you can see, it's a much smoother, more controllable shape. It doesn't boomerang down lane. So I would just move 1 off of that, or I could move my eyes back to 7 down lane instead of it being such a tight line. So let's do that. Let's just move 1. I'm gonna move my feet 1. So 22, I'm just gonna leave my eyes where they're at. Again, keeping everything else the same. Looks really good. Perfect. So like I said, just moved that 1 and that shot easily struck. Okay, so a lot of people have a tendency to ask, how far right can you get with a Solid? When's that point where it wants to start falling off? So I'm gonna try to see if I can replicate that here. Obviously this shot is fresh, pretty fresh. So I'm gonna move to 25 and I'm gonna make my boundary down lane about 10. So I'm gonna see if I can try to recreate that and see if we could possibly leave like a 7-pin here. Okay, so exactly what I was talking about there. Moved right on that, and it didn't pick up down lane like we needed it to, which is where that hybrid would jump in. So if you can keep your angles in front of you, you know, you're playing on a pattern where you need to play them a little bit straighter, you know, a little bit higher volume, the friction hasn't exactly happened yet, you know, transition hasn't hit. You know, you can throw that solid and you can stay, you know, left if you're a lefty or right if you're a righty a little bit longer. But once you have to start creeping into that, you know, heavier zone in the middle part of the lane, and we need to kind of feed it towards the friction a little bit, we want to throw something like a hybrid where it does make that recovery down lane. So there's my review on that. Hopefully you guys get yourself a Ethos Hybrid. So I'm super excited to be throwing this piece, and we'll see you guys later.